Hello, Shemai, Prihawn dda, good afternoon, and welcome back to Right Nice Places with me, Dan. And a little bit of deja vu going down this morning. So if you watched my last video, I went and did Cnicht for the first time. And if you watched that video, I was annoyed that I didn't get to do more of Cnicht or see the area more because I'd not given myself enough time. So today I've returned to the area. I've come back with Nauco today, so we're going to have a walk together. And we're going to go up a slightly different way. So we're going to go to the top of Cnicht, but we're going to go a different route, and we're going to go via the quarry that I showed on my last video. So if you're wondering which way we're going, here's the map.
So starting again from the little village of Croesor, we went straight up Croesor, a nice flat easy path slowly ascending up the side of Moelwyn Mawr. After just over an hour we started coming into the quarry, and what a place that was to sit, chill and have lunch before making what was the only part of the walk where it was a little bit difficult to see the path, so we're recommending to have an app or a map. And then we made our slow easy ascent to the top of Cnicht, no flying ants, a perfect day, immense views, before making a slow ascent all the way back down to Croesor.
So there's the map for you, and now we're walking, as you saw on the map, down Croesor. Coombe in Welsh just means a valley, and that's exactly what we're walking in. I've got hills to my left, which is the start of Cnicht that you saw on my last video, and on my right hand side I've got Moelwyn Mawr and Moelwyn Bach. Moelwyn Mawr being the big one, Moelwyn Bach being the small one. And I'm sort of heading up there. Oh, there's a little bit of cloud coming over the top of Moelwyn Mawr now as well. I hope that buggers off. And there is a slight dark cloud, but it's not supposed to get bad. We'll find out. But this beginning of the walk, as you saw, is going to be pretty flat. It's pretty easy. Anybody could do it. I have no idea what's in store for us when we get to this abandoned quarry though. So I will keep you updated on the video, and we'll check out some very, very cool. I think it was still working up until 1930, I think is when the Slate manager left this quarry. Don't quote me on it, but I'm sure it was 1930. I was reading it last night in a book called The Nuttall's. If you don't own the Nuttall's book, well worth getting. It tells you all the mountains in England and Wales, gives you nice little descriptions of them. I'll post a link to the book in the description of this video, but it's a cracking book. Gives you history on every hill, so have a read. I'm still going up Croesor now, and you can see Cnicht on my left there. Check that view out. Right in front of us, you can see the link between Moelwyn Mawr and Cnicht, which is what we're hoping to walk on today, which is right in front of me. I'm hoping we'll go from the quarry up to there. But one thing that blows me away with Croesor is just how small this village is. And of course, this was a huge, huge quarry spanning 60, 70 years. So there would have been hundreds, if not thousands of families living in this area, which has now become a single track road and nothing here other than absolutely splendid views. And I've got to be honest, if you're looking for a walk that gives you splendid views and you don't want to go high, take this road so far. It's beautiful, but we are going to go high in a minute, and I'll chat to you when I get there because I can't talk and walk on a cattle grid. So if you're going to be following the route that I'm doing with Nauco today, you can see the beautiful valley behind me. And then you're going to come to a point where you need to turn right to start going up the hill. It is marked. You'll come to this farmhouse just in front of me, and we're going to come off the track. We're going to take a right, and you can see where Nauco's going in the distance. We're going to walk through that gate and continue up the side of Moelwyn Mawr and hopefully get to this interesting quarry. And again, just like the walk that I did up Cnicht last week, you can see Cnicht just sort of there behind me. Just like the walk I did up there last week, it's not difficult this, and you seem to get to splendour very quickly. We seem to be like no effort, and the views that you're being rewarded with are proper good. In fact, one might go so far as to say it's a right nice place, and it is. And once I get up this stile, oh, I'm glad we're going up a stile, because in the next field were cows. Whew. But yeah, I mean, look at these wicked views. So you can see the path now, and you can see that wonderful view looking back towards Moel and the Aberglaslyn forest, up come Croesor, and then the little path that we've taken just there. Very, very, very easy route so far. And unlike the other side, when I did Cnicht in the last video, this is a longer 7-mile route, but much more gentle and a much more clearer path so far. I assume what must have been an entrance into the old quarries for the lads working in them. But yeah, let me just turn this around. So far, absolutely delightful route, dead easy to follow. And as always, we've got our maps with us and stuff, but look at that view. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, so far, Croesor. And the other thing I'll mention about Croesor is the last time I came, I took the most delicious drive. You know, one of them things where you're on a road that you think you're going to fall off, and every 5 yards you've got to stop to open another farmer's gate. So, if you are coming to Croesor, don't take the little B road, take the A road, because the B road, if I'm honest, was scarier than walking up the mountain was. Anyway, I'm going to go now because we've got, I don't know if these are perhaps participants, they all look like very fit people I'm passing today on the mountain. And what we've got going on this weekend in North Wales is something called the Dragonback Race, which is sponsored by Montaigne. If you've never heard of it, have a Google of it. Probably the most insane race you'll ever see. Yeah, crazy race, but have a look at it. And I think we're going past a lot of people doing just that. So walking up here now, just see, oh, sugar. So walking up here now, I've just seen something really, really cool. We was walking past me and now go past these little gates. I'm going to show you in front of me. You should be able to see, scarred in the landscape there, you see the rocks either side there, running parallel to each other, right up the hill there. And if I turn this camera around and show me again, oh, and then put this in front of me, you should see, let's turn that, you see these two big gates here. So at one point, this would have had, and you can see it going all the way down that hill, this would have been some sort of method of carting slate up this mountain. And what they used to use back in the day is old drum type and cables where gravity would basically do the work. And that is incredible that it's still there, you know, a real landmark of sort of the industrial past that existed on the side of this hill. And so far this hill is, as it was on the other side when I did Cnicht, absolutely taking my breath away. And I love a bit of social history like this. You know, you can see quarry houses, you can, you know, imagine people working here in these conditions, in this environment. And you know, us lot think it's hard being a barista in Starbucks 9 till 5. Different breed of people, aren't they? Absolutely different breed. Anyway, I'll crack on the path now. I was just blown away by that. I'm now 2 miles into this circular route of the 7 miles. You can see Cnicht to my left still, but this path so far has genuinely been absolutely wonderful. But what I really like about it is when I did Cnicht last week, you didn't get to see what was inside this valley. You're almost looking across it across to Moelwyn Mawr. Whereas stood here now, if I pan this camera around, I don't know if you can see it, but you'll certainly not see it while the camera's not on me, but just behind me there is a stunning waterfall. And I'm guessing when we come round this bend in a second where we are on the map, you can see just ahead of me there, going round this corner, we should then come straight in. I want to say it's called Rhosydd Quarry. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think we're going to walk straight into that in a second. And so far, again, other than a relative level of fitness, absolutely zero technicality on this walk. I do think it's going to become a more difficult path when we cross the valley and go over to Cnicht, because what we're hoping to do is get up to Cnicht and go down the side that I went up last time. But we'll see when we get there. But so far, so good. And as always, guys, if you are watching my channel, please don't forget to like, to subscribe and to share to the channel. Absolutely free to subscribe. We're doing really well, just over 330 subscribers now. It's growing, it's really great to see. And the other thing that's really great this week, buzzing with it. Yesterday, as you know, I continue my ongoing battle with family courts, which I do believe to be a ridiculously biased system in this country. But however, huge leap forward for me personally yesterday, with the judge ordering the ex-partner that she must contact me at least once a week now for FaceTime with my daughter. So absolutely buzzing with that RLC and me will be seeing each other once a week. And all right, it's only a FaceTime at the minute, but that's better than no time, let me tell you. So lads, if you're out there, if you're one of these 200 blokes a day losing touch with the kids, don't give up. It is stacked against you. You'll feel like quitting, you'll feel like crying, you'll feel like screaming out in frustration, but keep your cool. You know, be British, keep calm, carry on, and just keep plugging away. And remember what you're doing it for. You're not doing it to defeat your ex, you're doing it for the best things for your kids. So as always guys, if you are struggling with anything, inbox me. You know, let's walk, let's talk, but let's lift the stigma on men's mental health together, because it's bullshit that 80 men a week in this country are dying, and we need to put a stop to it. So think on, lads. This walk is just getting cooler and cooler. So once again, I'm at a point where you can see where it was either the entrance. You see the path going straight down in front of me. You see where it joins that concourse going through the mountain. Honestly, the engineering work that these lads had to do to make these places workable is absolutely nuts. And then in front of me here, look at this. You can see where they've quarried straight through the side of the mountain there. And then if we were looking to here, look at this. Now, to me, that does not look stable. So I'm not going to be brave and go through there today. Because if I'm honest, I quite like being alive. But honestly guys, even if you don't want to do the whole 7-mile circular route, get yourselves to Croesor and do this walk, because this is infinitely more interesting than any of the big tourist honeypot sites. This is genuinely awe-inspiring. And I don't use the word awe-inspiring often, but this bloody is. Really is. I don't know, maybe I'm just buzzing today because of the news yesterday, but everything is looking rather awesome today. But this quarry is mad. I just find it mad that so many men worked in such harsh conditions right up until sort of outbreak of the First World War, really. Fuck. And then just up here, if I turn around, you can see these giant tips. These always freak me out a little bit, to be honest. These massive tips of slate, of old knackered disused slate that wasn't deemed good enough, because I do always think it's probably going to come down one day. I mean, obviously there's been tragic incidences with it before, and that's one reason why I'm not a big fan of Blaenau Ffestiniog. Whenever I go there, I think the whole town's ready to just collapse, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling and I'm falling, so I'm going to bugger off again, because we're going to go for a gate, and we are getting a little bit peckish, so we might stop for a little snack and a brew shortly, who knows. If we do, we'll have a chat. So I've just come off the path just a little bit, because I've spotted these, and I love old stuff. But look man, old wheels off mining carts. Look at that. So old wheels off mining carts, how cool is that? And just in front of me, you can see scattered about the hillside, there's a full mine cart just there in the rocks. But just this wonderful wreckage of the history of this place. It's phenomenal, really phenomenal. Now, if I turn the camera around, you can see where Nowco's walking in the distance there. That's where the path continues. But look at these valleys here that you're gonna see. And honestly, this walk, this side of the hill, is so much easier than the side I was doing last week. And it's fascinating, really fascinating. The bit of the path that we're coming to though does look, I'm off path at the minute, but the path we're going to does look the rockiest part so far. But again, zero technicality, not even remotely a scramble, and so far not even any loose path. A little bit of bog, always get a bit of bog on the Moelwyns. But I'm going to turn the path around now. You can clearly, and we could clearly see this path from way back at the beginning. It's just sometimes when you're walking on stone and slate, the path starts to disappear, or looks like it when you're on top of it. But again, you can see another one of these mine entrances coming down from between them rocks, whizzing straight down this hill. And can you imagine back in the day, having to walk up this path in all weathers with your butties to get to work? You know, and this is the path now. So this, I think so far, is probably the worst bit of terrain we've walked on, and my God, it's easy. You know, absolutely superb. So far, not really got an end goal in mind. I mean, we're going to stop in the quarry at the top here and have lunch. But there's so many routes you could take from here. If I go up and right, I'd be at the top of Moelwyn Mawr. And then you could drop down. Sorry, I lost you then. You could drop down to Moelwyn back and back into Croesor. You could do this loop that we're going to try and accomplish. The cloud is coming in at the top over there though. But I cannot recommend this walk enough. Superb. So we've hit sort of a plateau now. Moelwyn Mawr, the summit, is just there, just to my right hand side. So we're not millions of miles away from that, but what we're actually doing now is beginning that traverse of the hillside that connects Cnicht and Moelwyn Mawr. But what I'm really hoping is we're going to make our way up this little, it is a path, because, you know, it is. It obviously looks like what used to be a waterfall or something. But we're going to go up here now, and what I'm really hoping is that we're going to find a barracks, the old quarryman's barracks, a bit like those in Eryri. But whilst I'm here, let me show you this. Oof. Look at that for a view, straight down come Croesor. And now you'll understand, if you couldn't see it on the video, that is a valley and a half. And like we discussed on the last video, you can understand now why the giant needed Moelwyn Mawr and Cnicht as his stepping stones to get over that, because just like a pothole for us little people, it'd snap his ankle, wouldn't he, the big lad? So there you go. Anyway, hopefully I'm going to be chatting to you in the barracks in a second. Oh, let me tell you, you're in for a right treat in a second, guys. This is mind-blowing. And the only reason I've not spanned the camera instantly around is because, you know, for my YouTube thumbnail, I'm probably going to go, abandoned building, and do a few shocked faces for you. But there's some bloody tourists ruining the shot, isn't there? So I can't do that just yet. But this is awesome. This is the old barracks of what would have been the quarry. Let me spin this round so you can start to see the entrance. Look at this. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. People lived here till 1930, man. That is mental. Ain't no power. Ain't no playing Fortnite up here, kids. Look at it. Absolutely incredible. I'll video again when we get closer. Me and Nauko, we're going to stop for our lunch in this awesome looking place. But honest, this is mint. Like breathtaking around me. It's just incredible. And the only downside is that it's a bank holiday Saturday. So there's other humans here, but I can't begrudge other people wanting to explore beauty. I mean, I'm showing everybody on YouTube. I'm showing the 5 people that watch me on YouTube. But this is magnificent, and I don't think I've ever seen it or seen so many people on the Moelwyns at any one given time. I've got groups all around me, so, and young people as well. It's great to see, to be honest. Young, healthy people outdoors. Do it. Better for you. Here we go. So I'm closer to it now. This is mind-blowing to be this high up into the hills. Oh, there's a mine entrance over there. Oh, I mean, I'm not brave enough to go in, but I'll certainly show it you. Nauko's just said to me, it's a bit like Pompeii, this, isn't it? And I said, well, yeah, if it was warmer and full of Roman artifacts, you know. Look at that up there, though. Jesus, guys, honestly, come and explore this place. A lot of people go to the Quarry, which is in Llanberis above Eryri, or below Eryri. But I've got to be honest, look at this. This is far more interesting, I think. Look at these houses. Imagine working and living here. It is just mind-blowing. Look at them all. There's a ghost of a miner just there. Unbelievable stuff, this. And let me just pan the camera around so you can see me, and you'll see everything that's behind me if I just extend out a little bit. But look at it, this is vast. And ultimately, I suppose you have to be very, very careful with where you're going to walk around here, because there'll be an awful lot of underground tunnels. They've been mining for donkeys around here, you know. They've not been mining for donkeys. If you're watching and you don't understand my northern, donkeys in donkeys years is in ages. I don't think donkeys have ever been mined. Maybe they have, I don't know. Probably worked in a mine. But I am going to go and explore over there in a minute. I'm going to go and get Naoko because she's wandered off over there, and I want to go over there, but she's discovered something over there. There's just too much to see and do up here. So come and see it for yourselves, because everywhere I look, I keep just going back, but everywhere I look, this is mental. And I know we summited Cnicht last time. Cnicht's over there, we'll be up there in no time. But for now, I just can't get over the landscape and the sheer scale of the quarrying that went on here. And whenever I see quarries like this, it does freak me out a little bit, because I'm always reminded of the line from Lord of the Rings that Tolkien wrote about the mines and the dwarfs, you know, they buried too deep and too greedily, and it sort of found the ruin. And you sort of think the same for here. Now, of course, these men, I'm sure men died in these quarries, no doubt. They didn't find the ruin here. Unfortunately, the end of it became, and nobody used it anymore. And in this green age, where politicians claim to be the most green we've ever been, bollocks, innit? We've got all this slate here, and in this country, because we're trying to go for net zero carbon emissions, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, we import slate from China, which is worse quality. You have to put, you know, it on containers that pollute the sea and ship it across here when we've got all of this. You know, why are we not still using it? There's got to be safer methods to mine now. Naoko's found an absolute terrific spot for lunch, so we're going to sit down now, get the old Jetboil out, and have a cheeky bit of veg curry, I think. But my gosh, honestly guys, this is a place well worth coming discovering. You could wander around for hours in here, I reckon, and people are very cool. I'll give you one final sweeping shot, and we're going to have lunch, and after lunch I am going to go and show you that mine entrance, because that is not something I want to go in, but I'll certainly show you. Might send Naoko down, she'll love that. Oh, sugar. So, the best part of any walk, as always, is get the old Jetboil out for your lunch. But sadly, I did burn the top of it last time. I know, that's what I said. But yeah, if you've not watched any of my videos before, guys, then welcome to lunchtime with Dan. And this is where I like to have grub. And I always sort of plug the Jetboil, but you don't have to go out and buy a Jetboil. You can buy various editions. I just like the Jetboil because, if I'm honest, I'm a posy git, and I like to just sit here with it, and often not even cook, just look cool with it. No, I'm joking. It's worth getting. Jetboils are wicked. And today we are having a Wayfarer boil in the bag meal, and I've brought two of them. Got the old veg curries. So if you've never had a Wayfarer boil in the bag meals, they're brilliant. You go outdoors, I think it's like 2 for a £5 or 2 for £6 or something. Cheap anyway. And don't get me wrong, it ain't ever getting a Michelin star, but it is going to fill your belly when you're out on a little mooch, you know. So yeah, nice. But this is a wicked spot to spot that. And I'm not going to stay on for long because I've been a bit of a gobshite today. I'm supposed to always have a microphone connector for my phone. So if you're suddenly seeing me in HD, that's because I'm not using my phone. I'm using Naoko's trendy ass something plus phone. Whereas I'm still on the old iPhone 13 mini because, you know, I'm part of the generation that got bullied for having big phones. And now everyone wants massive ones. So there you go. Anyway, we're having curry for lunch. And it's going to be bloody tasty because I'm ready for it. And then if you do get a Jetboil and you get boil in the bag foods, don't waste your water that you're boiling your grub in. Make sure you're using it for a curry. For a curry? It's nonsense. Make sure you're using it for a brew. Which is why I always carry this little bad boy. So it's got my milk in it. Because I'm posh and I like fresh milk, not prison milk or not powdered milk. And yeah, top tips, always bring a brew, always bring a Jetboil. Anyway, I'm going to go because, you know, Naoko's sat here having lunch with me and I'm talking to you and not her. And that's incredibly rude, isn't it? So for now, I'll see you in a bit. There we go, so we've had our delightful Wayfarers lunch. Not sponsored, but yes, we do enjoy Wayfarers lunch. And you can see now the barracks behind us, and we're leaving now. We're going up. We've got 4 miles left after checking the map, and I know 2 miles of that is after the summit of Cnicht going downhill. So I'm not great at maths, but that means we've got to follow this path for 2 miles. And this is where, so far, the path isn't quite as obvious, but you can see where you're heading on the map, and I can see people about everywhere today, so it shouldn't be too difficult, he says. But I'll keep you updated about where we go. But I'm going to get off the camera now, and I'll video a little bit more when the path becomes obvious, because I don't want to wander around aimlessly and just get lost, you know. But anyway, hopefully I'll see you when we get onto that ridge just up there, and I'll be able to describe where we're going a little bit better. Well, just come to this really beautiful place. We're walking, as I said, in between Moelwyn Mawr and Cnicht. We're going to summit Cnicht. I'm about 3 miles from the end of our walk now, so not 3.5 miles. I was following a boundary line. Boundary line is our fences marked on an OS map, if you didn't know, but I was following it thinking, hang on a minute, where does this bugger end? There's supposed to be a stile or a gate soon. And all I could see in front of me was this. Look at this, middle of the mountain, stunning lake, which has been dammed at some point as well. And then you can just see down there where the gate is, but I honestly thought for a second, has the lake, you know, sort of taken away everything? But anyway, it hasn't. And we're now going to carry on walking around what I can only describe as just an incredible landscape. I'll turn around so you can see it all, but mind-blowing this. Really, really good. And honestly, from the beginning in Croesor village to this point, not a single bit of technicality, just a real nice path to follow. I mean, at this point, the path has become a little bit harder to follow, so I'd definitely bring a map for this part, or an app, or whatever. But it's really not an hard walk. It's just a nice, lovely mooch. We are making great progress on... Progress? That sounded a bit poosh then, didn't I? We're making great progress on this walk, and if I spin this camera, you can see the top of Cnicht now, just there in front of me. But look at that view out to sea. That's Porthmadog that you can see in the distance, and Portmeirion. I don't know how hazy it is for you, but you should be able to see my house at the bottom of Moel. And beyond that, you can see Abersoch and Bardsey Island as well, or Unisentlich. And now we're going to continue up these big boulder fields here, and then swing left along that ridge, and then we'll get back to Cnicht, and then we'll be on a part of the path that you saw last week going back down the hill. It's just brilliant up here. Really, really pretty. I can't get over it, really. And once again, last week on the Cnicht video, I sort of questioned whether the views rivaled my favourite mountain, you know, the Hoth Mynedd Moel Shabod. And the answer is, I think they do, you know. The walk today has been something, or has been, as many people say, has been pretty spectacular, I've got to be honest. So yeah, I'll tell you at the end if I think the whole view is better than Moel Shabod, but so far the walk itself certainly is better than just going up from Plaza Brennan on Moel Shabod. And you see so much, and it's, you know, we've seen a lot of people today, but it's a bank holiday weekend in Eryri. And you know, it's not as if you've gone to Eryri where you would have seen a gazillion people by now. So still nice, still relatively empty. Yeah, enjoying it. I know I keep saying it, but this walk is proper good. And honestly, even if you're new to hiking, you could do this. You know, if you can follow a route on OS maps or all trails, I prefer OS maps, but whatever the case may be, I wouldn't recommend it on your own if you're a first time walker, because, you know, it's pretty lonely in parts. But my gosh, is it easy. And when I'm saying it's easy, folks, whenever I'm doing a video and I say it's easy, I mean in the weather that I'm walking in. This would not be easy should it be covered in clag, cloud, fog, mist and drizzle and all that jazz. You know, this would become very, very difficult indeed, and you would be relying upon compass bearings and things like that. But if it's a good weather day like today is, oh, this is an easy walk. That sheep sounded like a bloke. And we're not far off hitting the ridge to Cnicht now at all. We've come through something to me that feels like the Valley of the Giants, you know. I've been reading a book recently that talks a lot about sort of the Incas and the Mayans and all that sort of stuff, and these great big rocks that they were able to put together seamlessly with some sort of ancient forgotten technology. But then you look at the rocks behind me up here, and it doesn't seem all that different to that at all to me. I honestly, and I know I probably sound like a wally, but I genuinely believe giants did exist in these valleys. Because no mere mortal could have carved into these rocks like this. And all right, I know we've had ice ages and stuff, but there's just something very mystical about the Moelwyns, something that does feel ancient and magical. And as I've said, I might just be a wally, but I do believe in spirit. And I do believe in the spirits of a landscape, and certainly when it's a landscape as majestic as this. I'm going to put it up there as, I think, my new favourite walk in Eryri, which is a real shame because I was planning on doing a video very soon of a walk that I've always considered my favourite in Eryri, and it's a walk that I took Naoquan on our first date, and I do intend to do it again, but you know, I think this might beat it. I really do. Anyway, I'll show you when I'm at the top, because so far I've said this path is good for everybody, and it really is. And the only final bit of the path that I can think might hold any sort of obstacles is the final push to the summit of Cnicht. However, I am not going up that same way I went before. We're going up, if you remember, I described the back of Cnicht like a big sofa cushion that had been dropped onto a bed of heather. So today we're going to find out if that analogy is correct, or if, like usual, I'm talking utter bollocks. We're now going up the back of Cnicht, on the opposite side of that big piece of Toblerone. But when we came over the tops then, look at these views behind me. And again, wonderful places to pitch a tent, you know, and spend the afternoon before packing up and returning home, because obviously nobody wild camps around here. But yeah, it's mind-blowing. Me and Naoko have just had a quick chat, and we have agreed that this is definitely better than my other favourite walk. So congratulations, guys. Today you have been watching my new favourite walk in all of Eryri. So a minute ago I talked about whether Cnicht was a big sofa cushion lying on heather from the back, and if you watched my last video and you thought, do you know what, that little scramble ain't for me, then come this way, because let me show you, we are so close to the top of Cnicht now. You can see the path directly in front of me. There's a couple of sheep paths just to the right of them, snaking its way up through those little rocky crags just to the summit there. This is beautiful. Technicality wise, on this entire, well, 5 miles it is to get to the summit if you go the way I've gone today, 0 on the technicality. I've not even broke a sweat. This has just been pleasant, absolutely pleasant. What a way to get up Cnicht this is. What a way. Now I am going to go down the same way that I did on my previous video, and I'll show a little bit of that path for those that didn't see it. But what I am going to show you when we get off the summit of Cnicht is the most impressive wild campsite I've ever seen, and where I definitely want to come back to do some camping. But I'm going to just keep talking for a few more seconds, because I'm going to spin the camera around, and I have decided, guys, that for views in Eryri, Shabod will give you the top of the Welsh 3000s, and you'll be able to see the summit of all of them. But Cnicht and Moelwyn Mawr and this 7-mile circular, it will give you everything. Let me show you. Unfreaking believable. Absolutely. And this walk, minimal effort, maximum reward from start to finish. I cannot tell you how good this walk has made me feel. It's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Splendid. And it's nice to get back up Cnicht after my little fall down there last week. If you saw me fall last week, thankfully I didn't break my wrist, but my wrist and my hand was a different colour than the rest of my body for a good few days. And you know, being left-handed, it's been a bit of a pain, but it's pretty much back to normal now. So today, hopefully Cnicht will be a bit kinder to me. But yeah, sorry for rambling, but you can see the path directly now. What an easy route to the summit of Cnicht this is. So if you don't like scrambling, but you don't mind a nice walk, then 5 miles from Croesor village, taking in the quarries and everything else you've seen, will lead you to the summit with zero effort. Perfect. Well, we're almost there, guys, and honestly, what a route up Cnicht this is. I can't tell you. I mean, both of us are in agreement that this is just stunning. I mean, it doesn't feel exposed at all. You know, I'm a coward, and you know, this is the view that you've got from the route we've taken today. So if the scramble looked a little bit scary, then do a 5 mile slow walk. You can see all the path that I've taken opposite us there, all the way up to the quarries, done a fine loop, and now we're back here, and you can see just in front of me there is the top of Cnicht. And from this angle, it doesn't have that Matterhorn, sharp edge, shit your pants type look about it. You know, it is a gentle stroll along a ridge by all means, but certainly not exposed. But if I move the camera slightly so you can see over my right shoulder, look at these views you were rewarded with. And it's just wicked. And I mean, this is the second time in 7 days that I've been to the summit of Cnicht, and I've come a different route, and it feels like an entirely different mountain. And I've got to be honest, I'm so pleased I've moved to where I've moved to, because I am fastly falling in love with the Moelwyns and this whole range and this whole area and the views it offers and the majesty and the whole feel of it. So if you've not discovered the Moelwyns yet, then come to this side of Eryri and discover them, because it's magical. I've got to be honest. But don't all come. You know, it's quite nice being peaceful. You know, give me a ring when you come in so I know not to. I'm joking. But this is wicked. Really, really wicked. And honestly, if I can't even compare this to any path I've ever done in terms of ease, it's easy. I mean, we've got to the top of Cnicht here, and genuinely, I ain't broke a sweat. You know, it's such a gentle ascent going the route we've taken today. It's delightful. Oh, no, right, I'm walking with somebody who's got slightly shorter legs than me, so my stride might be smaller than normal. But even so, I'm going to get in trouble for that when I get off this. But even so, it's absolutely ideal. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm not sure if I love it as much as a hobnob in tea, which I'm looking forward to when I get back. In fact, I'm not having a hobnob. I'm hankering a pint of Guinness today. And that's not like me. I'm not a big drinker at all. But I really am fancying a Guinness. Anyway, we're at the top of Cnicht, and I'm going to say hello to you, so long as those bloody ants aren't there. Croesor Horseshoe Walk Cnicht. So welcome back to the top of Cnicht. But today, those flying ants are not here. So I can actually enjoy it. And my gosh, this is a top of a mountain to enjoy, let me tell you. Unbelievable views. And I mean, you feel like you stood on top of a mountain here. There isn't a cafe, there isn't even a trig point or a cairn. There is just nothingness and everything at the same time. Look at those views. Absolutely mind-blowing up here, guys. And yeah, I can't describe how good it is to be up here. This is a mountain to really admire, to really behold. But yeah, so there you go, guys. You've seen the slightly easier route up Cnicht now. So if you didn't like the idea, oh sorry, I've lost you, my camera's gone mental, there you go. If you didn't like the idea of the scramble that I showed you in last week's video, and I'll be honest, it was a nice scramble and it didn't feel that bad, but that walk I've done today to this point is 5 miles, and it'll be 7 by the time we get to the bottom. Infinitely better than just coming from Croesor straight up Cnicht. Infinitely better. Yeah, I've got to be honest, number one walk in Eryri for me, this. Absolute number one. And as I keep turning with this camera behind me, hopefully you can see some of these views and understand just why this is such a magical place. I love it. I absolutely love it. And hopefully you will too when you next come up here. So yeah, so that's me at the top of Cnicht. We've loved it. I'm going to start walking down now. I am going to show you a little cheeky spot for a brew and a wild camp spot potentially on the way down. But other than that, guys, I will chat to you in a few minutes. I'm going to enjoy the summit. Thanks very much. So I've just come down that scrambly part of Cnicht, and I've got to be honest, it is cool. It's gnarly. I like it. You know, it's just a hell of a trek. And coming down that from that angle is so much easier than going up, because when you're looking at it from this angle, you think it's unachievable, that. But it isn't, because a prat like me can do it. But this is really the last thing I wanted to show you on today's video, because you've seen this path on my previous one, but this is the point on my last video where Elsie FaceTimed me, so I didn't get to record it, and it is a stunning spot. So let me just flip this camera around. What a brew spot. Now, Cnicht doesn't offer the best summit to sit and have a brew, especially if there's a few people up there. You're not far from the summit here at all, 5 minutes. But you're out of the wind, there's cairns to see, and I would love to wild camp here. I don't know if this was some giant's throne or something, but look at it. It must have been something. It's not natural. Somebody built that, I'm telling you. But how good is this? And look, there's the spirit of the mountain in the form of a giant sheep enjoying his view out to Porthmadog. But yeah, that's it from me today, guys. As always, thank you very much indeed for joining me here at Right Nice Places in what has become a right nice place and my ultimate favourite #1 walk in all of Eryri, which is the 7-miler taking him come Croesor and Cnicht. What a hell of a place. As always, like, share, subscribe, and if you're a man suffering from mental health, then please get in touch and let's fight the stigma together. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all soon.